Oh, sorry, it's 11:06. And, I don't know, I was just watching all the news. I'm saying, like, the happiest news I've gotten in a long while is, Romy and Michele's getting a sequel. I thought I really need that, because 1997 version of me, you know, I didn't get to go to, like, fancy colleges or anything like that. You know, I'm whispering because it's 11:07. I'm kind of, like, stressed out because it's in about two days. It's the 3-year anniversary of my father getting murdered, and I got bad news about, you know, the legal situation and trial and everything with that. It's just, yeah, you know, geopolitics. And I'm saying, like, what would little 1997 version of me think about everything going on in my life now? And it's kind of overwhelming, you know. I just saw the trailer for the Brazilian film about the dictatorship that happened in 1970s. Going like, oh, you know, like Ralph Wiggum, great American philosopher, once said, "I'm in danger." It's kind of nerve-wracking. But yeah, I kind of remember who I was in 1997 and being able to scrounge up enough money to go to the Dollar Theater near my old high school to watch a new film at the time called Romy and Michele's High School Reunion, starring Lisa Kudrow and Mira Sorvino, sorry. But yeah, and it's just one of those comfort films I enjoy watching. Sorry, my hair's a mess, but I'll jump in the shower, go to bed. I'm talking long because I don't want to wake up anyone else. But with everything else, I think about what 1997 version of me would think about what's happening to me present day. And it's also one of those things where, you know, I don't like going to my class reunion, especially this past one, where I'm like, I didn't want anyone going like, oh, your dad, let's talk about your dad. It's just not an easy thing for me to talk about, you know, when something like that happens to one of your parents, and then the ongoing aftermath. So, but I just thought one of my favorite comfort movies, and some of the characters in it, just as I get older, just really resonate with me. Primarily Sandy Frink's character and Heather Mooney's character, and their juxtaposition off of each other, how they're both very similar creatures, you know, and they have this weird longing for something they think is going to fix them. And maybe it does, and maybe it doesn't. But Heather Mooney is in love with a guy named Sandy Frink, and Sandy Frink is in love with one of the main characters. And the main character is just so, like, in the moment and thinking about her goals, and she just thinks like, oh, she doesn't want to think about Sandy Frink that way. She just wants to move to LA as soon as they graduate and live her life. And you're like, okay, yeah, good for her. And she, for the next 10 years after high school, has this amazing life. It's not fancy, but she enjoys it, you know? And then their high school reunion comes up and she's like, oh, wait, what have I done with my life? And then she and her best friend go through this whole comedy of errors. It's just, you know, Shakespeare would have loved Romy and Michele's High School Reunion when you think about the comedies that Shakespeare enjoyed writing. If he really did write the stuff he wrote. That's a whole other conspiracy I just don't want to deal with. But my point is, Sandy's in love with Lisa Kudrow's character, and Heather Mooney's in love with Sandy Frink's character. And so there's all this, for the longest time, all this unrequited love that they're all dealing with. And it's just, to me, it's kind of funny how that happens a lot in reality. But yeah, so Heather Mooney finally does show up to her class reunion. The movie came out in 1997. You haven't seen it yet. I'm sorry if I'm telling you spoilers, but she sees the guy that she had idolized and had been in love with all through high school. And she's like, that's him? And it's like, yeah, I mean, he's now better than ever, you know? And he finally impresses the girl he was in love with back in high school. And she reciprocates. And you're like, oh, that's great for them. But then Heather Mooney's like, what the hell was I idolizing all this time, you know? And to a lot of people, I'm kind of like their Heather Mooney from high school, and I feel bad about that, you know. Try not to be horrible. You know, I was just so busy wanting to get in film school, so, you know, that was my quick burning cigarette in half the time in my goals. But I just found it funny how Heather Mooney finally sees the guy that she thinks hates her, and turns out he had a crush on her the whole time, and he was just so worried about his speech impediment. And then she like has this cathartic release of like, oh, you know, there was someone in love with her the whole time, and she was in love with Sandy Frink, who was in love with, you know, Lisa Kudrow's character. So, but yeah, that's one of my happy place movies where I just watched that, and to me, Romy and Michele is to me what Pretty Woman is to Romy and Michele. And if you see the movie, you know. But also if you're in Venice Beach, if you go down one of the streets, it's the exterior of their apartment building. And the movie starts out with like a long tracking shot that goes over the ocean, onto the beach, and then into their apartment window. And it's just like one of those shots where you're like, how do they do that? But yeah, anytime I'm in Venice Beach, you know, I like going over and seeing where the building is. It's just really nice. So, but yeah, that's my almost midnight movie review. Romy and Michele's High School Reunion, 1997, starring Lisa Kudrow, Mira Sorvino, Alan Cumming, and and the mom from The Parent Trap. Not the mom from The Parent Trap. The dad's girlfriend. You know, the mean lady from The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. She's in it. And her character, oh my god. Yeah. And she rescues animals. So if you want to help rescue animals, contact her online and see what she recommends. But yeah, so you have like, you know, a lot of really nice people in real life who do a really good job of playing some very interesting, complex characters, you know. And you have people that are villains becoming heroes, and, you know, it's such a crazy movie. Oh, and the actress who plays like the villainess has just one really good actor. You know, she's so underrated as an actor. So, you know, you see all these people that are such amazing actors, and you're like, their career deserves to be better. And it just breaks my heart that their career it's a plateau. And then you feel like they've given up on it, and you're like wishing that they would just be like, I don't know what's going on in your life, but, you know, I hope you find better representation. I hope you find, you know, you don't give up on your career because they have this amazing talent. So, but a lot of people did use their experience in this movie to level up. You know, Justin Theroux did. And I thought it was fascinating where he started out, you know, this is like one of his more obscure roles. Like, you may know him as the writer from Tropic Thunder, or the creepy looking DJ from Zoolander, you know. But in this, it's very fascinating to see what Justin Theroux brings to that character in his film. But then Janeane Garofalo playing Heather Mooney, you know, I hope I wasn't that mean in high school. I was just really grumpy, sleep deprived, ADHD, insomnia. It's not fun. And people thought I was really high in high school, and it's like, no, this is just allergies. Sleep deprived, allergies, ADHD, you know. But then I come from an era where girls didn't get diagnosed with ADHD, so I would just show up surly and have people like ask me if I was high, and it's like, no, I just really need a nap and some coffee, you know, and some Adderall. So, but yeah, Romy and Michele, High School Reunion, give it a chance. And now I gotta go to bed because, you know, ADHD. Yeah, I'm wide awake right now, but I'm also very exhausted. So, yeah. But also, if you are in Alabama and the guy who we're suing the guy in his company that rammed into my dad. So if you are in Alabama for that area and you want to go to that trial and show support, I'd appreciate it. I don't expect anyone to, but you know what happened to my dad? 1997 version of me. Had she known what would have happened to, you know, Dad. You know. I hope that I was nice to my dad in 1997, so I don't know if that even works in the big picture of the universe, you know. There's people in Gaza dealing with grief and loss, and there's people in the Ukraine dealing with grief and loss, and so on. And now we got people here who are scared for their lives, you know. And so sometimes you need a movie that is your happy place to help you feel centered again, you know, with who you are and where you are in this universe, you know. But sometimes you just want to show up to see where the guy that you had this massive crush on in high school is at in his life. And then you realize, nope, just, you know, go smoke cigarettes with a quiet cowboy guy that had a crush on you and didn't want to say anything to you. Somebody always has a crush on somebody in high school, and it's just so sad how that never gets requited. If I'm even saying that right. I should go to bed. Good night.